In this video we'll be continuing with the C# video tutorials. So in this video we'll be going over jagged arrays. So jagged arrays are a special type of 2D array. So they're just special in C#. They're just basically special to C#. I've never really used these outside of C#. So basically, rows in a jagged array can have different lengths. So let's just try to instantiate some here. So this code is from the last video, or videos. Arrays have been going on for the notes. I'm thinking over 6 hours now. That's not even the examples, so there's gonna be quite a bit to come here. So let's just see what we have here. There's going to be about another 6 hours at least of examples. Arrays are going to be, it's just arrays. I could do a video on arrays that'll be like 20 hours. Just C# arrays. And you see people teaching Java and like C or Python, C#. They have like full courses, like 8-hour course, 12-hour course. That hardly even covers a section of code, like of learning code. But anyways, so let's just try to instantiate some objects here. So we'll have, what the hell's going on? Okay, so let's just say the syntax is, not sure if this exactly will work. Let me just try a few things here. Work right away, I mean. We will get it to work. We'll just have to try a few things. So we'll have this. So this one has 3 rows. I think there's a special way to do this. Is this the way to? Why do the Microsoft developers have the syntax where you can instantiate a jagged array like this, but you can't instantiate just a 2D array like this, or can you? Nope. See, that's stupid. That is retarded. Why can you instantiate a jagged array normally, but not a 2D array? So Microsoft developers were smoking the wrong thing, obviously. I don't know what they were smoking. Who knows what they were smoking? They were smoking something that you shouldn't be smoking, because that's like not a good syntax. This is one of the only problems I've seen, is that a 2D array you can't instantiate like this, but you can instantiate a 2D jagged. So this is a normal syntax for like Java, I believe C as well, like just normal C. I think normal C is like something like this. Anyways, perhaps you move the symbols over here after the name. I kind of forgot, it's on my channel somewhere, so you can check that out if you're interested. But this is causing error, so that's retarded. Microsoft developers were smoking something. But I can instantiate a jagged array like this. How dumb is that? So I can only do a special jagged array normally, but a 2D array has to have its own special syntax. That's just retarded. Anyways, we'll have, so basically now what we can do is we can say that we want, maybe we'll do this in the constructor. Actually, everything is happening here. Okay, we could just start doing this in the constructor. So we could say jag arr points of array index 0 points to new int. So it's going to be it's a little tricky. So we have jagged array of array index 0 points a new int of, let's say we want 3 places as well. Actually, well, remember they have to have different lengths. So we could go 4 here. Then we could say, we could do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we could say, whoops, I forget a semicolon. Is that going to cause a problem? No. My notes have a semicolon. There's no semicolon here. I'm assuming they're supposed to be. If not, I'll have to open the book here. So let's just see if this works. I don't use jagged arrays too much, as you can tell, but I know how to do them. It's not something I normally use. You may get tested on it, so that's why I'm making a video on it. You may need them at some point, maybe. I'm not sure why you'd need them, but you might. So here let's just have something like that. 3, so 5, 6, 7. Then we'll have jagged. So notice the point of the jagged, the name jagged means like, I think it's like a line that's not straight. It's like kind of like jagged. Think of a knife blade. On the blade, there's like different edges that's like shaped differently. Like they have sharp points, flat points, like sharp points, and then they have like kind of like a flatter point without jagged areas. That's what it means. So think of like a knife point. Like you may have like a sharp part at the tip, goes in a bit, and then after it goes sharp again. So then here we could have, for example, jagged array of array index 2 points to new int of, let's say, 5 indexes that we want, for example, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whoops. Okay, is that working? Should be working. If I run that, let's see what happens here. Just want to make sure that works. Nothing's going to come up. As long as it says build successful, then that syntax works fine. Anytime now. Why does it say Visual Studio? Perhaps it's, not sure why it says that actually. Okay, anytime. Anytime. It worked. Okay, so it did work, so that's fine. That's what my professor's notes were getting at. Alright, so that's pretty much it. To access an element in a jagged array. Okay, so to access an element, we could then say, for example, message box dot show. Then we could have, we want to show jag ARR. That almost looks like the hockey player Jagger. I think must have been way back now. That's what that name reminds me, jagged array. I used to play for the Red Wings, I think. When I was a kid, I must have been like 5. I can't remember now. I just remember seeing that jersey on TV. I used to watch a lot of hockey. I was always watching hockey. If I was watching something when I was a kid, it was hockey. I was always watching hockey for some reason. Okay, so anyways, we have message box.show jagged, so JAGARR. Then we have an index here, 1, 2, dot, toString. Let's just say we want to call it toString. My family would watch hockey around dinner time. That's probably why. 5 o'clock, or usually the 7 o'clock game would be on TV and I'd be watching it. Anyways, okay, so we have message box.show jag array of array index 1, of array on index 2, .2 string. I don't know if you guys know Don Cherry, that guy. He was always on Hockey Night in Canada. I remember seeing him even when I was like 4 years old, 3 years old even. And then he got fired, was it 2 years ago, for a racist comment or something? A couple of years ago he got fired for some kind of racist comment that the people deemed racist. I'll have to look it up, I don't even know what it was, I missed it. But he got fired after like how many years? I don't know, he's working there for a long time on TV. Always with his colorful jacket. I remember he always had some kind of colorful jacket on or something. Okay, so anyways, we have some message box show jag array of array index 1, array index 2, so .2 string. So what we're going to say is we're going to say we want to access jag array of array index. So row 1 is going to be here, I believe. Column 0, 1, 2. Okay, let me run this and see what we get. I won't show you guys the run, because I'm using the Windows recorder. Okay, did it show 7? I can't even see that. Yeah, it is 7. Okay. Why is it showing that text so small? Let me try, sorry, let me just... Can I console.log that? Because I cannot see that. I think it says 7. Let me just try to console.log that too. Can I do that? Actually, I'm not sure if I can console.log in a Forms app. Might only be a console app. Console dot. Maybe console dot. I don't think it's letting me do that. Console.log. No, is it letting me show that? Is there another way for me to display it? I don't think I can. Let me just see if I can console.log that on a Forms app. Sorry about that. Can I console.log on a Windows Forms app? I'm not sure if you can. Actually, you know what? I think it's console.writeLine. My bad. Is it? Let me try that. Why am I thinking of log? Okay, I think it might actually work. So let's go with jag arr. Is console.log JavaScript? Why am I thinking of that? My bad. So let's just go with this .2 string. I'm actually learning JavaScript now in school. I'm about to, but pretty much I've already kind of been looking at it here and there. So that series is coming right around the corner. So we have console.writeLine jag arr of array index 1 of array index 2 .2 string. So that should come up now. I think it's 7. I can see it already, but it's very small. I don't think. I just want to show you guys as well. I don't even think it popped up in the run area at all. Might not actually even work in a Forms app. That's weird. Okay, so I think it is 7. That's okay. So let's go with that. But we have... So basically what's happening is we're saying we want row 1. So we want row 1, column 2. Now this thing's a little tricky because it's not instantiated like how, like for me, I wouldn't instantiate an array like this. I'd just use a loop to do it, or I'd do it like this, and then I'd go index of, like, for example, I'd go like arr index of like 1, 2, or 2, 2, whatever, points to like 5, or points to the string str, something like that, right? I don't usually instantiate arrays like this, but in this case, I think this might be the only way to do a jagged array. Let me just double check that. Okay, so we're going to get into processing them a little bit, but I believe that this is pretty much, I think is this, because each element has to be a certain length. And actually maybe there's another kind of way to mess with this. You could maybe say, actually I think there is another way to do this, because you could say that we have jagged array of 0. Unless you do this kind of like take these numbers out, like for example 10, I commented these out. That actually work. That might work, and then you could just access the elements by index. Okay, so that might actually work. Never mind. So this is just kind of one way to do it. We're just going to stick with this way for the example for now. For later in the lab, we might be doing it that way as well. But anyways, so this is saying row 1, and then, which is going to have, so row 1, I believe, then these are the columns here. 0, 1, 2, that's why it was 7. It's a little confusing because obviously you don't use jagged arrays often. You pretty much just use them maybe here or there. Actually, maybe you can. I've never seen them actually, to be honest, out of C#, so perhaps you can, but I don't know why you'd really need to use them. Let me just double check that. Are there, no, let me use Ask ChatGPT. Google is giving me stupid answers sometimes. Anyway, so we'll get back to that in a sec. Using nested loops to process jagged arrays. So jagged arrays have a length property, so we already know about that. Holds a number of rows, for example. Each row also has a length property, which holds a number of columns. So this is something that you will see normally. Well, this is the way I would do it in. This is exactly the same as Java. You could pretty much, I think you can also maybe do it in C like this. I'm not sure if you can do it in C like this. I'm not sure if C actually has this property, but basically, I'll show you guys how to do this in one sec. My chat GPT is up, so let me just ask if there's, actually no, that's still kind of loading here. It's a very strict login for ChatGPT. You have to, oh, what the hell happened here? Sign in. Continue. If you sign in, if you click the wrong button, it takes you back. If you try to sign in with a VPN, it doesn't even let you. Okay, so let me ask it. Are there jagged arrays in Java? Okay, there are jagged arrays in Java. I never learned about them for some reason, and I had a pretty heavy textbook. Are there jagged arrays in C? Okay, so I guess you could use jagged arrays because you probably could actually do a 2D array like this and just instantiate them, each array of different lengths. So maybe what I said earlier was kind of wrong, that it's kind of you only have them in C#. So that's probably, I won't probably edit that. I don't get enough views on the channel, but my bad. There are jagged arrays. I guess it kind of makes sense that there would be, that there could be, because you can basically just instantiate arrays of different sizes, I guess. You want to have 3 arrays of different sizes you can kind of stack them on each other, I guess. I've never seen them in other languages, but that's okay. I guess my curriculum didn't teach them until now, so, or like, you know, recently. But anyway, so we have pretty much here, so let's use a nested for loop to process a jagged array. So we could say here, under here, we could say for int row points to 0, row is less than jag array dot length row plus plus. We can go with row, you can go with I or j. We'll just go with these ones for now. So for int call points to 0, call is less than. Actually, you know what? I'd rather use I and j just because we already did before. Whoops. Why is the screen all the way to the left? Okay, that's okay. So let's just say for int I points to 0, I is less than jag arr.length. There's definitely videos of that on my channel, doing this, using the dot length in Java. I think I always pretty much use length. But the trick is here is something else. So I'll show you. So you have to nest them, then you have to say for int j points to 0. I used to like playing around with arrays for some reason. So then we'll have, for example, j is less than jag arr, whoops. I think the reason why I like to play with them is because they were hard at first. Then after I got it, I was like, oh, it's easy now. So here we have, okay, so less than jagarr of array index I dot length. I've done these so many times in every language. Every time we learn a new language, they're like, yeah, it's time for arrays again. I know this is your 6th time learning arrays, so you're going to be an expert. We're going to teach it to you anyways, just because we want to. So pretty much 1D and 2D arrays are in like every language, so you'll probably know that if you're in a computer science major. So anyway, so this is a trick here. You have to say jagged array of array index I dot length. So it's really accessing the first array dot length. So each array, imagine a bunch of arrays stacked on each other. It's kind of hard to even understand what that is. For honestly, when I was learning it, I just memorized it. That's just how you print out a 2D array. This is how I did it. So this is exactly the same in Java 100%. So there's no difference. You can use the dot length property. I know that in Java there's also a way to access a string, and there's a way to access an array. Now I can't remember which one was which. I feel like string was this way, and perhaps array length was like this, but the difference is in C# is that it's not capital in Java. But in this case, in C# it's capital. But anyways, that's how you do it. Just remember that. If you have array.length, so it's the first one is .length and the second one, so I always use I and j as well, but the outer loop is going to be array.length. Inner loop is going to be array of array index I dot length. So once you get that down, then for example here we could say message box dot show. They even have them in Python. They're called lists. So JAGIRR of array index I, array index j. But once again, Microsoft developers had messed up the syntax of arrays, 2D arrays. But you don't really use them that often, so if you need to use them, you might. I'm not sure what you might need to do. Might want to have some kind of system where you need a 2D array, I guess. It's a data structure that you can use. I just don't like the syntax of it. They changed it from different languages. Like normal C programming and Java are pretty much the same thing almost. C# decided to take the syntax and change it. I believe even in C++ the syntax is pretty much the same as the other ones. Anyway, so here we're just saying we want to show each, or we're taking each number and converting it to a string because we want to print it out in a message box. So that's the point here. Why is it doing this in a message box? It's going to print everything out. There's a special way to print it out. What the hell is going on? That's just printing out all the... It's like a pop-up that's like... You know a pop-up when you go online to watch a video that like a movie, like a new movie that's come out recently, and you go on one of those sketchy websites, and then you click play, and then the pop-ups keep coming up, right? You click play, pop-up, click play, and usually those pop-ups, if you click the wrong part of it, or even sometimes just by clicking it, it has a virus. It installs a virus on your PC, maybe even on a Mac. But yeah, that's pretty much similar how they do it. So they use that something like this to pop up something on your screen. I guess probably using JavaScript, or in that case something like this. We'll get into that later. But that's pretty much it. There's a way to print out. It's not going to print it out here. That's where I wanted it to print out, but it won't print out there. We'll try to do this later on in one of the apps. We'll try to get stuff printed. I don't even think it would print out properly. That's okay. So we'll just go with that. Okay, so there's also lists. I think we'll probably just give this a break here because don't want to squeeze in lists at half an hour. So we'll have one more section in the notes, which will be lists. There's also lists. I assume maybe there's probably linked lists and array lists or something, or maybe there's just a list. Might just be a list in C#. I kind of forgot. Don't worry about that. I'll refresh your memory and mine in the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys learned something, and I was able to teach you jagged arrays, and you're able to understand. Hopefully I was able to at least help you understand them, and I didn't confuse anyone. But in the next video we'll be learning about lists. So lists, it's pretty much the same thing in Java. Pretty much the same thing as Java. So you can just instantiate a list. There probably is a linked list and in C#. So I think this is just a general list. Let me just ask ChatGPT, are there, actually let me just check the docs. Actually, okay, let me just see. Okay, yeah, so there is an array list class, that's what I thought. I remember using them before. So you can instantiate an array list, and I believe there's a linked list as well. Yeah, okay, so I guess the reason why is because when I learned C#, it wasn't a data structures class, whereas linked lists and array lists are usually data structures, so my class did go over lists. So there's also a general list. So I believe we'll just be going over the general list. you use them the exact same way as an array list and a linked list anyway, so don't worry about that. But in this series, we'll be covering just general lists. It's the same thing. You don't really need to know how they're implemented because it's not a data structure series. If you are interested in learning more about data structures, I have a complete data structure series in Java, which is pretty much the exact same as C#. It's on my channel. There are videos that are like 20 hours long, so check it out. Divided into parts, and it's very serious, and it's kind of hard too, but just check it out if you're interested in data structures. So in the next video, we'll be going over lists in C#. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys liked the video, you can like and subscribe to the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. In the next video, we'll be going over lists. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. Take care. Thanks.